Now, this is my favorite part. We're going to play this bit in its entirety. It's only 90 seconds. He gets asked about, it's like a MAGA conversation, you know, when was America great? He's asking who are we taking the country back from? And then the pièce de résistance at the end is he gets asked, and this is what I've teased, and if you've read what our promo is coming up for tonight is, he gets asked about his responsibility for the Labour government that's in there today. And you don't see Winston Peters very often do this, but you see it in this clip.
You've also said we've got to take the country back.
Yes.
Who from?
From those people who are seeking to change it without any authority mandate, have never campaigned on it and doing it silently behind your back. You know.
The government has a pretty strong mandate right now.
Already? For what?
They have a majority in Parliament. I'm not sure that you can get a greater mandate.
Did they have a mandate for light rail, which has gone to now 29 billion and rising? No, they didn't. Did they have a mandate, for example, for capital gains tax? No, they didn't. Guess why? Because we are the handbrake that stopped them.
Yeah, well, the great irony is actually that you were the person who put them there. You were the queenmaker all the way back in 2017.
What's the face?
So you let the wolf into the hen house and then you got locked out.
This is extraordinary. This is extraordinary. Can you remember who ruled out Winston Peters? All those years before? No, stop. Please stop.
You are...
For years they ruled me out.
Stop.
And then the first thing...
I'm not talking about this. I'm saying that you
I'll let you into confidence. And let me
Jacinda Ardern, the Prime Minister, back in 2017.
And repeating a fallacy does
you
not
remember
improve your
2017.
So you didn't, mate. You weren't the queen maker.
The first thing that Bill English said to me on the first meeting, we had a meeting with the National Party first.
Oh, I don't want to relitigate all of the bits and pieces. But the thing is that it was your support that put the Prime Minister, that put Labour into government.
You're going down a foxhole, you're going to find a fox.
Well, it's better than going down a rabbit hole. Then, and people who are on the right, who are potentially national supporters, I don't know if they've forgiven you for that yet, Winston. What are you going to do to win them back?
Burbling on like that does not help your argument. Can I?
So there you go. So
can I just say?
Yeah, go.
Down the rabbit hole. She dropped that like a fucking hand grenade.
Yeah. But this point being, right? And so she did it very, very well. And I'm sorry, I forget the name of the reporter. I apologize. Someone in the chat will tell me and I'll give her due credit. But it's a little bit like what's about to happen with Mike Williams. We have to remember what went on last week, last month, last year, last 3-year cycle to make a decision on what's happening today. Winston Peters was the reason that Labour was able to form a government in 2017. He's the reason, right? So if you're someone who thinks, and that I'm not saying this is my or Chewy's thought, but if you're someone who thinks that this government has overreached, that this government has been invasive, that there have been, what's the word in South Africa where two races were separated? What's that word that just jumped out of my head? Segregation. They've done segregation in that
context.
But if you believe that segregation was something real under the Labour government, there's an element or a part of you that has to thank Winston Peters for this, because without Winston Peters, they don't get in 2017. Without Winston Peters, they don't get a massive because they're in during COVID re-election in 2020. It was 2020? Yeah, 2020. Yeah. So he has apartheid. Thank you. Look at all these lovely people. Because I'm a moron. So he has a direct line of responsibility to today's Labour government. So if you don't like Labour, Winston Peters has some responsibility for the government of the last 6 years. And that can't be forgotten. And she did it beautifully, Chewy.
Yeah. No, that was like Winston is someone that can run an interview if you let him, and he'll just do it with bluster and badgering. But yeah, that was beautifully done. Winston's an agent of chaos. He always has been. He has jumped parties. He has been kingmaker in multiple elections. He's probably the one that's benefited most from MMP since we changed that system. Because he has had the balance of power. And when you think, what actual overall benefit has he had to this country, I really struggle to think about anything more than free bus rides for pensioners and a gold card.